Doc Loves the Kids, a local Kitsap County nonprofit organization established in 2015, whose mission is to provide activities, programs, and community support for at-risk youth.
They put the U in community.
Doc Loves the Kids.
Welcome to Uncommon Courtesy.
We give you the courtesy of conversation.
That's uncommonly spoke of.
Senor D-Mac.
Senor Wesley.
In this show. Hey, man, I'm trying to brush up on my foreign languages. Don't forget to like, listen, subscribe. Thanks, everybody, for listening to our show, everybody that views it. Hold on, I got to put my glasses back on. I'm over here with my partner. We're trying to get the Rosetta Stone because we about to go to California and lie and say we from Haiti, baby. So I want to read something to everybody that's going to bother you all if you're an American citizen, tax-paying American citizen. $150,000 for undocumented immigrants to buy homes in California. Lawmakers say yes. A bill from Assemblymember Joaquim Armabula, D. Fresno, would expand California's down payment and assistance program for the first-time homebuyers regardless of immigration status. At least one lawmaker said it takes opportunities away from high-demand programs. Assembly Bill 1840 passed in California Senate on Tuesday, providing up to $150,000 in closing costs and down payment assistance to first-time homebuyers. Arumbla, in a statement, said that the homeownership created financial stability. The social and economic benefits of homeownership should be available to everyone, he said. As such as California Dreams for All programs should be available to all. However, State Senate Janet Nugent said that in a post on X that making undocumented immigrants eligible for home buyer assistance takes from others seeking to benefit from the program.
Man, this is the stupidest shit that they could possibly do, man. Like, especially right now. Like you're running this is a huge general election. This is for the fucking presidency, man. And you're gonna run a law like this. Only Gavin Newsom and his administration over there in California would do some stupid shit like this.
Don't forget about Oregon.
Man. Yeah, Oregon too, man.
Oregon, $30,000 just for the migrants. No one else. Imagine all the people in California, how much it costs to own a home, to buy one. People can't even buy homes, first of all, because BlackRock is taking it all from us. Now, you're letting people that aren't even tax-paying, haven't even been here long enough to pay taxes on anything, get $150,000 home loans. And they're going to get them first.
Yeah, man, it's $150,000 they're giving people to do for closing costs and for down payment. So that's a lot of money. But what they're saying is, I'm actually going to make sure you get into these homes. And they're also talking about 0% interest on some of these loans. I've heard as well too. I don't know if that's
a real thing. And if I'm
0% interest, man,
I'm talking about it in the debate.
I mean, why would you set us up like that? Why would you put? It doesn't make sense, man. You know what I mean? Like this is the worst possible thing you could do anytime, but especially right now. Like, wow, what would make this person? I think must be his get back at, for not being chosen to be vice president. He's like, you know what, man, I'm just going to run this. I don't even care. I want to crash the election because they ain't ever going to choose me. I ain't ever getting further than this right here. So I'm just going to crash out and do some stupid shit like this. Because you're never getting any higher than here, buddy. No one wants you around them. You're toxic right now.
This is get everybody. And the only thing that's saving them right now is that they're going to have abortion laws on 10 different state ballots. You got Project 2025 out there looming. You have women's but come on, bro, $150,000.
$150,000. I mean, you're basically saying like, okay, because you really only need about 5% down to buy a home. 5%. You know what I mean? So you look at how much money that is right there. You can buy $1 million plus home. Most homes in California are pretty expensive anyways, but you're insuring these people who are not even American citizens. Why would you do something like that?
Couldn't I just buy the home, fix it up, sell it, and then bounce back to my country and be a millionaire?
I mean, there might be some stipulations on how long you have to own the home for, maybe like a couple, probably on a couple years, some shit like that. But pretty much, man, if they've given me everything to do it, I don't see what the rationale behind this is. Like, you're not helping the people who live in your state, the ones who are struggling, all the homeless people. And I'm not even one to really take this standpoint. I'm pro immigrant in most stance.
Yeah, you was.
I still am. You know what I mean? I still am. I think that very much we need immigrants in this country, but we don't need to give them $150,000 to buy homes.
Nope, they need to come in here and get jobs and work like the rest of us and pay
And work their way up to where they got to get
shit.
up to, period. I mean, I believe that. I do believe there should be programs if they do abide by certain things that does give them a leg up, but not $30,000 and not $150,000. I don't believe that at all.
That's crazy.
Period.
You
know what I
people
mean?
out here that can't afford to get low. They can't afford. They make too much money. Like you can make $2. You can make $2 more, so you can't afford government assistance.
Yeah.
Right, but you don't make
Not
enough
eligible.
money to even afford an apartment because you don't make 3 times the amount. Even the lady that's showing you the apartment don't make 3 times the amount. But now you're going to give these people who haven't paid into the system at all, who don't speak the language, don't know most of our laws, except for to slow down around the police, money to buy homes. All through. I wonder what Washington's going to do. Washington's like, we can top that. We're just going to take your home.
Look, basically, he's there said that California Governor Gavin Newsom, who has been one of President Biden's and now Harris's top surrogates on the campaign trail, has not said whether he will sign the bill into law if it clears the legislature before August 31st deadline. So, I mean, as of right now, it has not cleared the legislative branch. It has not gotten, has not been voted in as being law. So it is just talk right now.
Yeah,
But,
Gavin Newsom would not say whether he would sign the bill, Politico reported Monday, while Vice President Kamala Harris would not say whether she supports AB 1840.
I mean, it doesn't make sense to support something like this. This is what the fuck? What are we even talking about this for? I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. Probably people the people who are probably sponsoring this bill are probably from heavy immigrant districts that are just pushing this legislation along.
Well, that's what it was in the one in Oregon. There was a Latino group, and so they were helping their people out.
I mean, and really, a lot of that stuff is like those are like government grants. You got to look at that. A lot of that stuff when you're getting grants and stuff like that. I mean, it's allocated into certain segments of society. Every grant is pretty much allocated to a certain segment of society.
So does that make you think differently about African Americans, foundational Black Americans asking for tangible laws made for them? Because as you
think it makes me feel different.
Two right here that we're seeing. You know what I'm saying? The one in Oregon, strictly for Latinos, made by Latinos. They made laws for themselves to give immigrants.
It's not really a law, though. It's not a law. It's
a grant program. So I guess we can get grants. Then you have this one in California.
Yeah, but I mean, and this is a bill. This is legislation right here, actually. I mean, so what I feel like is this right here. If I'm shooting for something for Black Americans, like you say, foundational Black Americans, I'm looking for reparations. Anything else, but other than that, man, fuck all that. I don't care about.
I like a hate crime bill.
I hear what you're saying. That's just keep on.
I would love a hate crime bill. That would be stupendous.
I feel what you're saying, and I'm not against that either.
I want to be able to look at the police and be like, I don't have to answer your questions. You can't touch me. I don't have to show you my ID. Am I under arrest? Am I under a charge for something? No.
All I'm saying is, man, right now, really, man, is that I really feel like this right here.
Sorry. Nowadays, you got to have all that stuff plastered on the outside of your car.
All that. What do you mean?
All your information. I can't even put my hands up. I don't want to mess the camera up. But
I know what you mean. I mean, I'm just like I'm really just. This is just frustrating because I know everybody. This is a big subject right now, and we really need to figure something out with this because if this gets signed into law, this is going to be catastrophic. You know what I mean? It's gonna. I feel like it's really gonna turn the country against any kind of progressive movement because it doesn't make sense what they're doing, man, with this at all.
Yeah, no, not at all. That'll. You're gonna lose votes. Not enough to lose, but you're gonna lose some votes.
Man, I mean, this you can run. I would run off of this.
Yeah,
I'd run off of this
the whole time.
What would you even like? I don't even understand. Like, why would y'all even bring this up right now?
Oregon, California,
everywhere. I would run this in every
Chicago.
single state, man. Everybody's struggling right now. We have, you look at food costs are high. You know what I mean? The inflation rate has lowered, but it's still high. And we still have a lot of items that are way past what they should be costing the everyday person. And we know this. And so if I'm the Republicans, I'm running off this in every single state. I'm not just going to run off of it in the states that are swing states. I'm running off. I mean, you can sway a lot of people by talking about something like this, man. This is the most ignorant shit I've heard ever. That you shouldn't even be considering something like this. Not now, not ever. Not ever. Why would you ever consider even giving somebody $150,000 who is not an American citizen and then make that a part of the criteria?
They ain't got money to give black folks reparations. Remember that. All your reparation money has been sent to Ukraine.
You know the funny part about it is that I think that California has voted to give blacks reparations, though. They have. So to say that California has done that.
San Francisco did it.
California's done that, so we can't say that about. It's not a United States government thing. This is a California thing.
Can you be born in California? Because if that's so, I don't need to do this shit no more. I'm out. See, you broke folks later.
Hey, you're stupid.
I'm going to buy a house right next to the illegals.
MIT blames Supreme Court decision for less diverse incoming class. MIT's incoming freshman class has been far less racially diverse compared to past years, a change the university attributes to last year's U.S. Supreme Court decision banning the use of race in college admissions. The class of 2028 will be comprised of 16% Black, Hispanic, Native American, or Pacific Islander students, compared with 25% enrolling among those groups in the years 2024 to 2027, based on new admissions data the university released on Wednesday. It says, in a corresponding Q&A with the university publication, MIT News Dean of Admissions Stu Schmiel said that the drop could be traced to last year's students for fair admissions decisions banning race-based affirmative action in higher ed. We expect that this would result in fewer students from historically underrepresented racial and ethnic groups enrolling at MIT. That's what has happened, he said in the interview. The steep drop was reflected in the Black student enrollment. 5% of this year's incoming class will be Black, compared with 13% from 2024 to 2027. Hispanic student enrollment went down from 15% in recent years to 11% this year. I mean, that's a pretty precipitous drop.
Well, MIT will no longer require diversity statements for hiring. Look at, if a school gets rid of their diversity program, you know exactly what that means. They don't want you colored folks here.
I mean, but it's a Supreme Court ruling too that made it like it bans it.
It doesn't demand it,
but it bans it.
It bans. Look, they have a choice to do it or not.
But if they ban it, you're just setting yourself up for lawsuits at that point in time. If they ban this and they still use it as a way of admitting students, they could probably have their federal funding taken away too. Yeah,
but also I'm like this, man. If there's colleges out here that are like they're getting rid of their DEI programs. No, they're just saying they don't have to use them anymore, right? So I mean, if I look at a college and I'm like, okay, you got rid of your diversity program, I don't want to go there because you know what comes with that? Racial slurs, nooses on my door. You know what I'm saying? Your teacher's talking crazy. It's bad enough I grew up in a city where the whole school system is racist. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? From top to bottom, unless you run in or dribbling a ball.
The police system out here is you know
it's crazy.
Justice system out here is
Quincy Square right out here, just for an example. They made Quincy Square, and when you ask Quincy Jones about his time out here in Bremerton, he said they were racist as hell to him. I'm like, are you gonna give him a square, huh?
Yeah, and that's
racist
as
hell to him.
It's facts, man.
So I'm saying,
Kitsap County as a whole, really.
I say that to say that, the whole county. So I say that to say this. I'm like, if I see that where they're getting rid of their diversity programs or they're getting rid of they call it DEI, I don't want to go there. I don't go where I want to go where I'm accepted, not tolerated.
But they're going to tell you right now it's banned. You can't have it anymore. So okay, it'd be like this to me. Why am I going to have a diversity, equity, inclusion program in my school if it's banned, if I can't really do anything with it?
It's bad enough you have to have it in there in the first place.
No, I understand. I mean, that's the point of it. That's the whole point of it, what you just said just right there. Like the reason why we have to even have it in the first place. But they can't have it anymore. So every school has an excuse why not to have it. It's not even an excuse. It's like, this is really what the Supreme Court came out and said, this is banned. You cannot do this.
And the school could have came out and been like, hey, we still believe in diversity. If they didn't do that, people gonna find other places. And MIT's not the spot no more like that.
Man, MIT's still the spot, bro.
It could be the spot, but there's other places than MIT now. Do I know them? No, but I know they're out there.
No, I'm not saying that there's not
University
other schools.
Of Phoenix?
But you got to.
I'm joking.
Yeah, you're crazy. But all I'm saying is, if it's banned across the board, there's nothing you can do about that shit. I mean, if I'm the school, I'm getting rid of it too. Because I'm getting sued if they find out this is still going on in here.
Yeah.
Period. They're going to take away my government funding. They're going to take away, they're going to start doing things to me that is going to hurt the rest of the students in this school. So you kind of have to go along with what's happening.
It's like a place, like I worked at a place like that too, and like I'll go to my local gas station, and if I see like the advertisement for someone to work there and there's a black person in the advertisement, I know they don't have no diversity and they want black people to work there, and I don't want to work there. You know what I'm saying? If you got like a regular like women on the walls in the advertisement, that's cool. I can understand. That's diversity to me. But if it's just you got a picture of a black dude, I'm gonna look around. You probably got one here to get federal funding.
Hey, it's crazy because I'm gonna tell you this. I went to this local bank that we have out here, and I'm looking on the wall. I'm looking at all the pictures and stuff. You know, I'm a kind of person. I'm gonna look and see who's doing what in the pictures. What color of person do you have doing what?
Yeah, exactly.
Who do you think they had playing basketball?
The black people.
I was like, damn. You know what I mean? I understand. We like playing basketball. I ain't going to take that away. It's a true fact.
Everybody likes playing basketball.
Exactly. So every time you go to the thing, why is the black kid got the basketball in his hand? The white kid got the, you know what I mean, the dirt bike helmet on or something else, going to do some other shit. You know, skateboard helmet on. But you got, you know what I mean? It just was like.
Well, the dirt bike makes sense.
It wasn't a dirt bike. It was a.
Actually, I know a couple black folks.
It wasn't a dirt bike. He was doing some skateboarding.
No, you know what pictures piss me off? Is the one where you see the picture with the family, and it's the white family with the dad and the mom and the kid, right? Then they'll show the picture of the black lady with her 2 kids.
It's like they do some of this shit on purpose, man.
Where's the daddy at?
Some of this stuff is done to you.
Or like if you read articles, they'll like when they talk about black people, they'll take the B and not make it capital. Bet you didn't catch that, huh? This has been my TED Talk.
This dude's crazy, man. Nearly 200 people dead. What's behind armed attacks in Burkina Faso? Around 200 people have been killed and 140 injured in the Burkina town of Barcelogo, the latest in a long line of deadly attacks in an al-Qaeda-linked armed group, Jamaat Nusrat al-Salam wal Muslimin. Women and children were among those killed on Saturday. Barcelogo lies near the town of Kaya, a strategic point in north-central Burkina Faso that housed the last standing military force between JNIM fighters and the capital. Several soldiers are missing after the attack, which was carried out as a JNIM continues to advance and seize swaths of territory in troubled West African country. You know, basically the reason why I'm bringing this up is because a lot of times we may talk about, I know we've talked about these 3 countries right here, Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger being the trap spots, the old school trap spots for France. This is where France colonized before, and they kicked them out. But these guys have had coups basically from like 21, 22, and 23 or something like that. All 3 of those countries, like the leaders of those countries overthrew the former leaders. Pretty much a military coup, which I believe was funded by Russia, possibly even China, helped fund these coups. And this is why you're seeing the stuff the movement that we're seeing. This is why I think part of the reason why we're seeing Telegram's owner get snatched up over in France. He's a Russian, dual citizenship, has French citizenship as well.
Actually, they were saying homeboy from Telegram, what he was doing is he was pissing off the Jewish community. And that's what they're saying. What happened, like they were mad that he didn't take off, he didn't get rid of anti-Semitic stuff. And he was pissing somebody. I can find it again. But yeah, that's what it boiled down to. That's why they arrested him.
Jeez. And so,
they got the power to do it.
And so when you look at something like this, these guys have taken over these countries. They kicked out America out of Niger. That we were kicked out of there. We had a military base that we built there. It was like almost $200 million military base. They kicked us out, but in the process of us leaving, they brought in Russian soldiers and housed them on the military base that they're kicking us out of that we built. And so, but just I'm saying all that to say this: these guys really don't have full control of their countries. They probably have control of 50% or so of the country that they're saying that they're rulers of. So these countries these militant groups are still being funded, and I think that some of them are being funded by America. I think that we're indirectly funding them. I remember when Ukraine came in. And they said that they helped out. I think it was with an attack in either Burkina Faso or Niger. One of these countries over here, they had an attack. And I think that these guys are being funded, like I said, indirectly by American sources. Yeah. I mean, I would say European sources as well, too, because you know that France is still attacking. They're pissed off. They got kicked out of here. This is where they got most of their gold from. You know what I mean? Like France being the 4th largest holder of gold in the world and don't have not one gold mine.
Remember, they tried to overthrow the Congo, and they actually put the Americans they captured there. They're up for the death penalty.
You know that there too. I mean, this we're in a situation, man.
In Haiti, bro, they assassinated the president, and the guy was like, they're like, yo, these are Americans. Do it. The Americans sent them.
This has been going on everywhere, man. Like we're pretty much we know we're colonizers, but the reason why this is important is this is a pretty big attack. You killed 200 people and injured 140 others. You know what I mean? That's a huge terrorist attack. That's not a small attack right there.
When you think about, like, they'll say, like, most people, like, for me, I used to be like that. When they say, like, oh, okay, 5 people died and 50 were injured. You know, I'm thinking movie injured, like, you got a little cut or bruise, they got you in the back. No, these people are missing limbs, legs. They'd be like, well, you're not going to die, so we're just going to count you as injured. Eyeballs shot out. 140, man, 140 people. You know what I'm saying? It's just to me right now, this place is pretty much still lawless. Imagine if we had a terrorist attack here outside of 9/11. I'm talking about this is just regular. This is going on a pretty regular basis. I'm not saying 200 people dying, but
Imagine we had an attack here where 200 people were killed, another 140 people were injured. People would be shook the fuck up. It's worse than when 50 people died at the country concert or whatever that was over in
Las Vegas.
Yeah,
With the bump stocks,
a lot of fucking people right there.
Again.
Huh?
The bump stocks are legal again. They actually said it was unconstitutional that people couldn't own them. So we can own them again.
That dude was putting it down. I mean, I'm not sure what the hell he did that shit for, but
somehow he snuck up 30 plus odd guns in duffel bags, set up a camera in the hallway, busted out the window of the MGM, sprayed the crowds. He just dropped the gun because he never had to reload. He just had them all loaded. You know what I'm saying? In duffel bags. And then when they came and he saw that they were at the door about to breach it, popped himself.
He was a savage. I ain't gonna lie. He was a piece of shit, but he was a fucking savage.
It's terrorism.
I'm not even sure why the hell did you do that? Who knows? You know what I'm saying? Like, why do people do any of this stuff? Who really knows? But you know that's another.
Well, because people don't commit suicide and then just kill themselves no more. They want to inflict pain on other people, like Kroger did.
Oh yeah.
Anyways, Kroger executive admits company gouged prices above inflation. Top company leader. Oh, just jumped on me. Top company leader of Kroger has admitted during an antitrust trial the company gouged prices on select items above inflation level. While testing to a Federal Trade Commission attorney Tuesday, Kroger Senior Director for Pricing, Andy Gough, said the grocery giant had raised prices for eggs and milk beyond inflation levels. This is not at all surprising, Drew Power, the founder of Illinois-based Power Financial Group, told Newsweek. Companies across multiple industries have been posting record profits since COVID-19 crisis, while consumers have faced the highest inflation in recent history. The math can only point to companies raising prices above the general level of inflation. As the old saying goes, never let a good crisis go to waste. Now, this comes as they're having the trials right now because Kroger and Albertsons, whoever the parent, I think it's Albertsons, the parent company of Albertsons, are about to merge. Mm-hmm. And so when they merge, they're going to be the majority grocery store, especially here in Washington.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so
you know that Kamala said that she's trying to stop that too as well. Like they're trying to get away from so many mergers. This is what's happening across the board. This is happening in banking. It's happening everywhere. Yeah. You know, I mean, and as the more these, even the food, like the ones who are the food distributors, all those people, they're trying to stop the mergers because then it squeezes us into our selection is very, very few. And then they really control everything. There's no telling us what we're going to charge for. We're going to charge what we want to charge for it. You know, I think, maybe the government should get into producing food. I mean, that might be something that we might need to think of. Or maybe we should all
just grow our own food. I mean, I know it's going to be hard in the wintertime, but I mean, people should set up community gardens, greenhouses indoors. I mean, if we grew our own food and we took care of our own, we could do it. And the whole thing is the media keeps everyone separated. You're so angry, but when you go outside and you just talk to random people, you realize everybody's chill. Except for that guy in the corner talking about Jesus is coming, but everyone else is cool. You go to a bar, everyone's singing the songs with you. Sweet Caroline. Ba, ba, ba.
Listen, I'm like this, man.
Not that one. That one.
I mean, maybe that one. Maybe that one.
Do the Humpty Hump. Watch me do the Humpty Hump. You know the Humpty dance?
All I'm saying is,
that's why you ain't got no hair, brother.
When you think about, listen to this guy. When you think about the food prices in general, you know, I mean, you're looking at. I mean, if they're coming out and they're having to say this, you know, at a committee hearing that, yes, we were gouging prices, and everyone's angry, like, oh, why are we they're calling it communism if Kamala Harris comes out and says that she wants to stop price gouging, but they're telling you they're doing it. They're telling us straight up, hey, we're raising prices on milk, eggs, all kind of stuff, just on GP. We just doing it because we can. They're telling you this, but these are the same people that we're supplementing. Like, let's not forget, like, when you're talking about government assistance, we're talking about food stamps, right? Other programs, WIC, whatever else. Those are all government assisted programs. So that means that every year, a certain amount of hundreds of billions of dollars are being given to these same places, Kroger's and, you know what I mean, Fred Meyer's and all these other Walmarts are getting this from the government. Straight up, here you go. This is how much they're going to give to you, like, period. I mean, this is coming into your pocket. You know, and so if the government, if we're going to give them money like this, period, plain and simple, then we should have some control over them gouging us on prices.
Well, I mean, it's also like, you know, they subsidize their workers too. They'd be like, we're not going to pay you a livable wage, and the government's going to pay us to do that because they're just going to subsidize it and fucking give you food stamps and stuff. And I apologize. I shouldn't have talked about my partner's hair loss. Alopecia is a real thing, and everybody should just be aware that it's out there. And I shouldn't be insulting him, he, Shine. That's his pronouns.
Hey, if I were to sit back and say some of the things I said to him offline, people probably wouldn't like me. So I'm going to let him go ahead and get his shots off. I don't ever call him fat.
He said if I took my shirt off, I looked like the Michelin Man.
it's not for me to say. But listen,
He said, I keep Kool-Aid packets and fried chicken under my folds.
But this is like a serious issue, man. Like we really need to like.
It is serious. It is serious. The price gouging is ridiculous. We all see it. We all know it. We all see it. We all know it. Start stealing.
I'm just like, I mean, at the end of the day, if I feel like we need to have some kind of legislation on this. I mean, I know everyone's going to have their own socialism. It's communism. It's this is that. But I mean, if you keep on letting people overcharge you, you're taking money out of a lot of people's pockets who need it for other things.
Yeah, a lot of people should watch that movie Falling Down with Michael Douglas. Came out in the 80s. You remember that movie?
I remember that movie.
And I was showing my kids the other day. It's because he's trying to make a phone call. Back then, a phone call was a quarter. So he goes in and he's like, hey, I need change for $1. The guy's like, no change. You buy something. He's like, I just want to make a phone call. He's like, no, you got to buy something. So he goes and grabs a Pepsi. Back then, a soda can was 50 cents. Homeboy's like, 85 cents. He's like, 85 cents? He's like, I can't even make a phone call with that. He's like, I just want to make a phone call. And he's like, no, 85 cents or get out. So they struggle. And so then the guy whips out the bat, the shop owner, Michael Douglas takes it from him. And he's like, you know what? Let's go through your prices. And he starts tearing up the store. He's like, how much for this pack of donuts? He's like $2.50. He's like, come on, man. Smashes up the store. And he's like, okay, now. Then after he smashes up the dude's store, he sits the soda down. And he says, how much for this can of Coca-Cola? And he's like, 50 cents. Rings it up, takes his 50 cents, leaves the $1, and goes, makes a phone call, calls his daughter. And the whole movie goes through him it's crazy because nothing has changed. It just got worse. And if everyone has time, watch that movie by Michael Douglas called Falling Down. You'll love it.
It's basically just feeding back into the fact that right now, if we're going to get gouged on prices, man, let's not let it be a thing we're fighting amongst ourselves saying that, oh, well, you're a communist if you want to tell these people not to overcharge us for certain things. If we're subsidizing not only them, we're subsidizing the farmers as well too. So a lot of these places actually own the farms too. There's not Kroger just doesn't own any farms. They're just like we're just going to own the grocery store. They own a lot of farms and stuff like that too.
Many jobs actually. All grocery stores are run off their produce. That's what they run off. That's their main thing. They run off their produce. They sell items in the store, but then as you see, they have their extra items that they sell. Like you'll see Hershey's, then you'll see like great value Hershey's. But all grocery stores are run off their produce. That's their number one stuff. I used to work at Safeway, and every time the produce went bad, you had to put it in a produce pile because they would take it out there and make mulch with it and put it back in their stuff. So everything runs off the produce. But grocery stores are cutthroat as hell. Like, I've never seen, like, there was a grocery chain out here. I can't remember the name of it, but they wanted to expand. And so what Albertsons Safeway did is that they cut everyone's hours at the job. You know what I'm saying? So before everyone was having 40 hours, they cut everybody's hours to like 32 or something like that. So it made it seem like all the stores were making more money. And what they did is they sold all their underperforming stores to this company. I can't remember what it was, but then they moved in there. They tried to have the same prices. People in Washington are loyal to the grocery stores. Yeah. So the company all went under. They all went under. It had to file for bankruptcy, all that stuff. And then they sued Albertsons and Safeway because they realized they proved they're like, look, you cheated us. You made the prices. You milked the prices, and then you sold us your underperforming stores.
So I think that was who bought Albertsons.
It was a green Albertsons is Safeway and Albertsons is owned by Albertsons. But it was like a grocery store chain out here in Washington. They came out here for a little while. They're out here for a short period of time. I can't remember. They're the ones who bought Albertsons though. Yeah, they came in right after Albertsons, and then they end up going into they went bankrupt because that's what they did. They sold them all the stores that weren't performing, but they made it seem like they were making money because they cut all the employees' hours. I was working there when this happened. Yeah, I was like, damn.
Millions in this country are stranded by flooding. Many blame their neighbor. Wading through muddy, flooded waters. Up to the chest height, hundreds of people slowly make their way to safety, their belongings held high above their heads to keep them dry. Entering the city of Feni in southeast Bangladesh, it becomes clear why it is described as the epicenter of one of the country's worst floods in living memory. Since Wednesday night, water has inundated 11 districts and large swaths of the city. Nearly 1.5 million people are now submerged. Bangladesh lives on its rivers and waterways, its people relying on the vital life source for fishing and farming rice paddies. The country is also acquainted with flooding and cyclones, especially in recent years, as scientists say human-caused climate change exacerbates extreme weather events. A lot of people are saying, but this flood took them by surprise, and people here blame officials in India. I had a friend of mine kind of telling me a little bit about this story, and they're saying that a lot of the flooding is taking place because in India they have a lot of dams, which keep these rivers kind of from flooding. You know, they can control how much water goes down, and when it rains really hard, India can just release a lot more water into them and flood the hell out of their whole entire country. And we have to look at, like we see in Bangladesh, they just overthrew their leader and she's exiled to India.
Yeah.
And they're like, hey, give her back. We want to, try her, whatever the case may be. India's like, no. But we got to remember, Bangladesh used to be East Pakistan. Now it's Bangladesh. But they have India and Bangladesh actually are at odds with each other. They weren't at odds with the lady who was just in power, but now they have a new leader, and they feel like outside forces kind of pushed this person into power so they could destabilize the region a little bit. They already got an enemy on one side, which is Pakistan. Now they got a person, then they got another enemy on the other side, which could have been put in power by, who knows, China. China and India don't get along. Could have been put in power by United States. We've already been saying that we're going to, the previous leader of Bangladesh, the woman whose father was the leader beforehand, she said some stuff about Western leaders want me out. They want me to either let them put a military base off one of our island chains here, or they're going to kick me, or they're going to come get me out of power. And what happened? She's out of power.
That's muscle right there.
Yeah, I mean, we basically wanted to put a base over near, like, just kind of by India in Bangladesh, but she said no. I guarantee you we're going to be getting one now, because the new leader of Bangladesh, which is that guy who came out with the microloans, who speaks perfect English. This dude sound like he's from England. It's crazy. You know what I'm saying? When I heard this dude, but a lot of Indians do live in England, though, honestly, because you got to remember, England colonized India.
Yeah, well, India's not even really called India. They're not India, or they're not Indians. It's a different name. What they're supposed to resort back to their original name. Like, I'll bring the article up next time, because it's so interesting. It's like there's never been an Indian on the earth. Like, they call the Native Americans here Indians. They're not. They're tribes. They call the people in India Indians. They're not. They're something else. Mm-hmm. It's like a whole different word. The Europeans just be like, we're going to call you Indians.
Yeah, I said India denied the dam release was deliberate and said excessive rain was the factor. Although it conceded that power outage and communication breakdowns meant that they failed to issue the usual warning to neighbors downstream. Yeah, it said India used a water weapon. Islam said India has taken revenge for destroying the last government. You know what I mean? So the people came in, they destroyed the government. There was stability there with India with that last government. Them kicking them out, they're like, you know what? If I can flood out 100, what they're gonna suffer now is not only the fact of them flooding 1.5 million people. They're also gonna suffer what the agricultural effects of that. You probably flushed out so many of their rice fields. That's gonna be starvation is gonna kick in, because you're already going through a lot economically when you just ran your last government out. That's why you ran your last government out, because you're going through stuff. You know what I mean? Like then flooding takes away your homes. I mean. They really don't have they're going to have to go to someone's going to have to give them some money. They're going to have to go to IMF or somebody, put themselves in debt, just like who's in debt like that? Pakistan. Pakistan's in horrible debt the same exact way. Yeah. And so it's just one of those things that we really need to watch out for. Like I said, I got a friend of mine. He's really wanted us to speak about this. But so Bangladesh is a hot spot. It's really one of the largest countries as far as population in the world. In the next 40, 50 years, Bangladesh is going to have one of the highest GDPs in the world. So pay attention to Bangladesh and kind of see what goes on from here. And I hope that their government can kind of deal with this situation, deal with this crisis, and keep it pushing.
Yeah, and we're going to keep you updated as we keep going. It's Uncommon Courtesy. We're going to see you next time.